Here in the Bronx, it's been a long day's journey into night. A day-night doubleheader. The day portion is over. Now it's time for baseball in the night portion. As My Nine presents New York Yankees baseball. It's the New York Yankees against the Toronto Blue Jays in the second game of a three-game set from Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, New York. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Yankees baseball, along with Ken Singleton and Al Leiter. I'm Michael Kay. First game of the day-night doubleheader, Yankees won 4-2. The big story is Andy Pettitte came back off the DL and pitched very well over 5 innings. We'll explore that a little bit more later on. But the Yankee offense gave him something to work with right off the bat.
Yeah, they came out smoking in the very first inning of the ball game. Of course, this is game one this afternoon. And Ichiro led off the ball game with a base hit after another hit by Nick Swisher. Robinson Cano drives in the first run of the game for the Yankees. A line drive double over the head of Colby Rasmussen center field. The Yankees scored one of their 3 runs. Then in the 8th inning, Nick Swisher drives in a run of his own, and that's the insurance run as the Yankees go on to win game 1 of the day-night doubleheader.
And here's how it broke down, 4-2. We told you the Blue Jays did out-hit the Yankees. Pettitte got the win. Alvarez lost. Soriano, a 4-out, 41 save. And for Andy Pettitte, 5 innings. Cano, 2 hits, and Ichiro, 3 hits. Now let's take a look at tonight's pitching matchup brought to you by Mazda. We believe if it's not worth driving, it's not worth building. Ricky Romero, boy, has he struggled. We'll get into that later. 8-14, 5.87. And David Phelps for the Yankees, 4-4, 3.39. Al, David Phelps has pitched well for the Yankees of late in many roles.
He has. You know, David Phelps, anytime you have a guy in the step that can relieve and start, and I'll tell you, his starting opportunity has been good, especially up in Boston. He had a good ball game. I love when he has that little two-seam comeback fastball to the left-hander. But when David Phelps is on, he's got a variation of a nice curveball and that two-seamer that comes back. A lot of looking third strikes. But when the curveball fastball combo is good, got into the 6th inning for his 4th win, he's a good pitcher.
And he's going to start the second game. The starter for the first game was Andy Pettitte. All eyes are on Pettitte. How would he do? Last time he pitched was June 27th. Gave them 5 shutout innings. When we come back, Al Leiter will explain what he was doing well on My Nine. I'm Michael Kay, and Ken Singleton will rejoin us in just a moment. We've already spoken about how the Yankees won the first game 4-2. That's big. Obviously, they're in the middle of a pennant race. But I thought the big story was Andy Pettitte. How was he going to do? So let me ask you, how did he do?
I thought he did great. I mean, to think about the amount of time that he had off, not sure about how his stuff would be or stamina. He was able to get through 5 innings, through 75 pitches. I thought what he did so well was changing speeds, not only with his slider, his curveball, but he had command on both sides of the plate. Very comfortable. It was effortless out of his hand. I think there were moments where the Blue Jay hitters were looking in. He was able to throw away. I thought about Andy Pettitte, and his stuff was very good.
Well, the Yankees have to be thrilled, and he also has to be happy. He picked up a win. Yankees would like to sweep of this doubleheader. When we come back, lineups, first pitch, baseball next, right here on My Nine. the Daily Double for only $1.99 at McDonald's. 2 100% beef patties topped with American cheese, lettuce, tomato, and mayo. And by Verizon Fios. Introducing Verizon Fios Quantum Speed. Internet twice as fast as anything America has ever seen. Well, the Yankees won the first game of the day-night doubleheader 4-2, and each game is so important now. The Orioles will play the Mariners tonight, so the Yankees have a half-game lead over Baltimore in the American League East standings. Let's take a look now at the Toronto Blue Jays starting lineup, which is brought to you by Audi, Truth in Engineering. Rajai Davis in right field will lead off. The center fielder Colby Rasmus bats second. Number 3 hitter is the third baseman Brett Laurie. Adam Lynn, the DH, will clean up, batting 5th and catching JP Arancibia. Kelly Johnson at second base will bat 6th. Yan Gomes, the first baseman, is going to bat 7th. Adeni Echevarria, he's at shortstop, he'll bat 8th. And Anthony Goes is going to play left field, and he will bat 9th.
25-year-old right hitter David Phelps is on the mound. He'll be making his 10th start of the year. He's had 29 appearances total. The rest were out of the bullpen. You see his very respectable 3.39 ERA. I like the hits to innings, very respectable. The 85 strikeouts to 85 innings. Says he's got good stuff. Let's take a look at the Yankees pitchers scatter report brought to you by Honda. Visit your Honda dealer right now for great deals. Only a Honda is a Honda. Called strikes. How about this? In his last start in Boston, 24 called strikes. In that 5 2/3. 38% of his pitches this year were strikes. Only second David Robertson at 39%. Good movement on his fastball. He moves it on both sides of the plate, especially in on the lefty, and has shown versatility. I just said starter reliever. As a starter, a 4.17 ERA, and reliever, he's got a 2.5. He's been very good for the New York Yankees this year.
All right, so David Phelps, he is ready. So is Rajai Davis. And let's do it here in the Bronx. The first pitch is a strike, and we are underway. Adrian Johnson, the home plate umpire. And the 0-1 from Phelps. Low.
One thing you notice about Davis right away when you saw his numbers, the on-base percentage, it's under 30%, 298. That's not very good for a leadoff man. But for him to have that many steals.
High fly ball, right center and deep. Going back is Granderson and Swisher makes the catch on the warning track for the first out.
Yeah, for him to have that many stolen bases, that tells you that anytime he gets on base, he's going. Because he just doesn't have that many opportunities.
Let's take a look at the Yankee defense. We've already seen Granderson and Swisher. So in left field, we'll meet Ichiro Suzuki, who made a really good play in the 8th inning of the first game to save the Yankees' 3-2 lead at the time. In the infield, it's A-Rod Jeter back at short, Nix at second, Casey McGee's at first, Chris Stewart behind the plate, David Phelps is on the mound. There's Derek, who sat out the first game. Pitch to Rasmus is inside, 1-0.
After the first game, the Yankees had optional hitting, and Derek and Alex were really the only 2 hitters that came out and hit. Derek went through his normal routine all by himself on the field prior to this game, getting all of his infield work in. Looked good.
Between the two of them, about 6,000 hits on the field taking BP.
Count 1-1. Rasmus at the new Yankee Stadium, 2 hits and 25 at bats. Count 1-2.
Yeah, but we did point out that one of those was a game-winning home run. The last time the Blue Jays were in town.
Against Soriano. Popped up, shallow left, coming on is Ichiro, and he'll make the play for the second out.
I think one of the keys for Phelps, and I guess for every pitcher, but certainly the younger pitchers, is be economical with his pitch count. Because what happens to him, and it's happened to him in the past, his pitch count gets elevated, and all of a sudden Joe Girardi has to think about the bullpen. If he can get through these first few innings here, he might be able to give the Yankees more than 6 innings tonight. He's kind of struggled in that regard.
Brett Laurie takes upstairs. 1-0.
Well, in the first game, outside of Robertson's struggle in his appearance, Soriano had to get a 4-out save. Nice job by the bullpen. Derek Lowe pitching an inning. So they should be all right. You know, Freddie Garcia is down there as a potential long man. Pitch count pretty high for Robertson and Soriano.
Driven out to right field deep. Going back, Swisher on the track at the wall. He makes the play. A 10-pitch, 1-2-3 inning for David Phelps. It's the Blue Jays nothing, and the New York Yankees coming to bat. McDonald's, 2 100% beef patties topped with American cheese, lettuce, tomato, and mayo. The captain, the shortstop, Derek Jeter, will lead off. In right field, it's Nick Swisher. The DH is Robinson Cano at third. Cleaning up third baseman Alex Rodriguez. Curtis Granderson in center field will bat fifth. Batting sixth and playing second base, Jason Nix. Casey McGee's at first base, will bat seventh. Batting eighth, playing left field, Ichiro Suzuki had 3 hits in the first game. And catching and batting ninth is Chris Stewart.
Ricky Romero on the mound, 27-year-old left-hander. What a poor year it's been for Ricky. Started out very good. You see the 8 wins. He had them quickly and then just has been in a tailspin. The hits to innings have not good. The walks are real high. Let's take a look at the Blue Jays scouting report. Brought to you by Lexus, introducing a stunning work of technology, the entirely new Lexus ES. Lost command, I'll say that. 94 walks. He leads the American League. Just cutting off a lot of pitches. His velocity is up and down and huge variation of speeds. Unlucky 14, trying to avoid becoming the first pitcher to lose 14 consecutive decisions as a starter. And what a difference a year makes. Last year, he was an all-star, 15-11 with a 2.9, 225 innings. It has not been good for Ricky Romero this year.
Here's Derek Jeter. And there's base hit number 200 for Derek Jeter.
Didn't waste any time. In fact, that's the 40th time this season Derek's had a hit on the first pitch that he's seen. So line drive through the middle, first pitch of it at bat, he gets a hit. He's looking for that first thing smoking. So another 200 hit season for Derek Jeter. He gets it started here in the second game.
Derek Jeter's now tied Lou Gehrig for the franchise leaders, having 8 200 or more hit seasons.
And still going strong.
And he becomes the third player to collect 200 hits in a season that he entered with 3,000 career hits. Cobb did it in 22 and 24. Pete Rose did it in 1979. And that single also gives Gehrig a 13-game hitting streak.
Did he pass anybody on the all-time list? He might get that in there, too.
He's moving on up.
Yes, he is.
You've had a good year when you've passed Willie Mays.
Yeah, in anything.
Count 2-0. Now, Al, in your scouting report, and you see the 200 hit seasons, Ichiro has 10 of them. Derek has 8. Pete Rose also 10. Those are the all-time leaders. B. Willie Keeler also with 8. The 2-0. Rip foul. So Al, you said he's trying to avoid becoming the first pitcher to lose 14
consecutive decisions as a starter in a single season. since Mike Parrott did it for the Seattle Mariners in 1980.
Gotcha. He was 8-1 after 15 starts. His last 14 starts, he's 0-13, close to an 80 ERA. With his stuff, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, last year he was 15-11.
All-star.
With an ERA under 3. So you're right, Al. Just the train has come off the tracks here for Ricky Romero.
Did a center stage today with Bud Selig, the commissioner of baseball, and he was asking the pitching matchups in the game during a commercial, and I told him that stat about Romero. He goes, how is that possible? He said he's got good stuff, and I said, I don't know. I'll ask Leiter.
Well, not even good stuff, but occasionally you luck into one where you go, you go 5 1/3, you give up 4, whatever. It's something you didn't want to do, and your offense will score you 6 or 7.
Or occasionally, you don't so much as win the game as the other team gives it to you, and you end up getting a victory. I think one thing, the opposition is not swinging at his changeup, which he can't get over the plate for a strike.
Tonight's closed captioning is brought to you by Lexus, introducing a stunning work of technology, the entirely new Lexus ES.
His best start of the year, talking to John Farrell, the manager of the Blue Jays, was probably the game that he pitched here at the stadium. He lost. But when you go 7 innings, give up 2 runs, that's one of those starts where you say, come on, boys. But guess what? Phil Hughes
was better.
1 run in 7 innings. There's John Farrell. Ocean Zone down there at Shore Regional.
That was Ricky Romero's 95th walk this year. Al mentioned he leads the league. The club record for walks in a season held by Jim Clancy back in 1980. That was back in my days, and he walked 128 hitters that year. Third on that list, or second, is Juan Guzman, and third is our own Al Leiter.
Not a list you want to be on.
Over, what did you have, 105 walks?
I'm not sure. I know I led the league in it twice. American League 1 year and National League. So I got that going.
Which is nice.
Yeah, but you also led the team in wins that year and strikeouts.
High fly ball, right field. Rajay Davis will make the play. Tagging is Jeter. He's taken off for third, and he will make it. So the Yankees have runners on the corners, 1 out.
I think that got in on the hands of Cano just enough that he couldn't drive it into the seats. When it started out, it looked like it had a chance. Anything hit the right field gets the crowd excited here at Yankee Stadium. You see him bring his hands in, trying to get the barrel of the bat to the ball, and not quite.
Still a heck of a job pulling the hands in and still getting somewhat of the barrel on there.
Not quite. It's just missed. But still a productive out as Jeter moves over to third with only 1 out.
Here's A-Rod. On 1 on the change. Alex drove in a run in that 3-run first inning in the first game with a ground ball to first. 56 ribbies. He's actually hit the ball pretty well since coming up the DL. Another good pitch, 0-2. New York Yankees baseball is broadcast in Spanish. It's available by hitting the SAP button on your television. SAP is brought to you by Toyota. When you choose Toyota, you get a lot for less. Toyota.
He's got to fight here.
Yeah, got to fight his way back into the count, down 0-2.
The 0-2. Blocked by Aaron Sibia.
Well, that's the pitch there, Kenny. It looks like a slider, but they're calling it a changeup. It's got a little cut to it. Second pitch to Alex was a nice changeup down the way. Let's take a look at the last pitch of this. This is a changeup.
Yeah, it looked like it.
Grounded to short. They get 1 on to first. A double play. A 6-4-3 double play as Romero wiggles out of trouble. No run to hit, no errors. 1 man left on base. We've played 1. It's 0-0. Adam Lind will lead off the second. Bruce Springsteen brings his Wrecking Ball tour to New Jersey tonight. Which Bruce song do you think sums up the Yankees' 2012 season? Is it A, Born to Run? Is it B, Glory Days? Is it C, The Rising? Is it D, Thunder Road? Or is it E, Wrecking Ball? I would probably vote E. Text A, B, C, D, or E to 70377 or go to my9tv.com. Find out the results right after the game. It's Take on Russ, brought to you by Toyota.
That's easy. It's The Rising.
Really?
Yeah.
Kenny, listen to this.
Tell me.
Yankees have a Saturday afternoon game. I'm a huge Springsteen fan, and that's the only part of the show, the tour I could go to. Now, Al, who's actually been on stage with Bruce at Shea Stadium, on stage. He sang Rosalita with him. I drove with him in the car when he went there.
For Rosalita.
Right. And you also sang a little bit. And I said, can you get me, I'll buy him. Can you get me tickets? No, I'm not able to.
First of all, I didn't hear the buy part. And everybody thinks like I'm chummy, hanging out with Bruce.
What time's the concert?
8 o'clock.
Oh, 8 o'clock.
I can make it.
All right, that's just checking it.
You're Michael Kay.
What does that mean? I'm nothing. You're his buddy.
Right.
You both grew up on the Jersey Shore.
I know.
I was wondering if you're going to leave me alone here with O'Neill.
I'm not a vicious person. High fly ball, deep center. Backing up is Granderson to retire Ling for the first out. Well, we go to the second inning, and it's 0-0 on the Time Warner scoreboard. Enjoy all the things you love better: TV, internet, and home phone from Time Warner Cable.
So far for David Phelps, 4 fly ball outs. Every outfielder's gotten a chance, with Nick Swisher coming up with a pair of putouts.
JP Arancibia is 1 for his last 22 in his last 7 games. And there's a strike.
I mentioned in game 1 that Arancibia was one of the many Blue Jay players that spent time on the DL this year. He had a broken right hand, broken throwing hand. But this guy has some kind of power. He's got 16 home runs. Last year he had 23, a Blue Jay rookie record. The all-time rookie record for home runs in a season, Mike Piazza at 35 back in 1993.
Not bad for a 62nd round draft.
93?
I think it was 93.
Yeah. As a favor.
Yeah, a favor to Tommy Lasorda.
Yep, hit 35 home runs that year.
Because Lasorda was Mike Piazza's dad's friend, and the Dodgers did a favor for Lasorda and selected Piazza. The guy's likely going to the Hall of Fame. The 1-2.
Most home runs ever for a catcher.
So Phelps, 4 outs, 4 fly balls, 2 to right, 1 to left, and 1 to center. So he's giving everybody a chance and a put out. Still 2-2.
Just watching early on, it's only 18 pitches in. A lot of fastballs. And, the general rule of thumb, if you could get through a lineup one time around with not showing your full arsenal, you throw one curveball, Brett Lawrie.
This would be a good chance, a good opportunity to throw another one, though. Down and away.
There.
Wouldn't bite.
But the point of watching David Phelps throwing that right around that 90-mile-an-hour mark, and often you watch Major League games and there's pitchers throwing 95 to 100 and getting hit. Here you hit your spots. Down and away, there's a nice fastball. Very effective, and I think the Yankees have done a really good job with that. Being able to use both sides of the plate with your fastball. Watching Andy earlier today, not throwing 92, but same idea, in and out, changing speeds.
And he misses outside, so Arancibia, the first base runner for the Blue Jays.
Yeah, speaking of using the fastball, there's only one pitching staff in the league that has more strikeouts than the Yankees. That's Tampa Bay. Using your fastball. Set up all the other pitches.
Here's Kelly Johnson, pinch hit single in the 8th inning of the first game. He's really had a rough second half of the season, hitting 179 since the All-Star break. He was at 246 before that. So 223 overall.
Now, for a while early in the season, he had the second most home runs of any second baseman in the league, to Robinson Cano. I don't know if that's still true because, as Michael said, he has slumped in the second half.
You look at this Blue Jay team, and early on they were much better at the beginning of the year, but when you have your rotation decimated with injuries, within a week 3 of the 5 were out, potential closer was hurt, Batista's missed a lot, Jose Batista home run, now Edwin Encarnacion, he's been out with a toe injury. They finally got Brett Laurie, the energized third baseman, back from an oblique injury. I mean, just injury after injury to main parts, key components of this team.
You're talking about 2 hitters in Bautista and Encarnacion that would be potentially 80+ home runs. And when you take that, subtract that from your lineup, pitchers have to work that much less to get through the lineup. They don't have to work all that hard through the 3 and 4 spots because they know a mistake, they're not going to get it back, and that's potentially a ball game.
Even now with Encarnacion out with this toe injury up in Boston, the Red Sox staff, they basically just pitched around him. You know, you hit our pitch and we'll pitch to either Lind or whoever's behind you. Now eliminating that force, as you say, Kenny. Huge RBI home run totals.
You know, I can see the Blue Jays regaining form next year if everybody comes back healthy. Because it's kind of hard to have 2 years in a row where you have so much decimation through injury.
Kelly Johnson works a walk. Tomorrow night on Yes, it's Game 3 between the Blue Jays and the Yankees here at the stadium. Coverage on the Yes Network will start at 6 with Audi batting practice today and the Tri-State Ford pregame. It all starts tomorrow at 6, and it's only on Yes. Here's Gomes. Missed outside, just missing that outside corner. Adrian Johnson is the home plate umpire.
We saw Gomes early this year. He can actually play various positions for the Jays and can play third. We saw him at third base when he first came up to the big leagues. Tonight he's at first. He can catch, play the outfield. He's had some good years in the minors. And the first ever Brazilian-born player in the major leagues.
Aaron Sibby off second, Johnson off first. The 1-1. 2-1. It seems, and Kenny, correct me if I'm wrong, that pitch is being called a strike by Barksdale in the first game. One just off the outside corner.
Just off. A couple of times it was.
I know that Soriano got a fortuitous call.
Yeah, he did. Yes, he did.
Pitch outside, 3-1.
Was that with, was it Sierra or Echeverria? One of the two. No, it was.
I think it was.
No, he didn't face those guys. It was.
I think it was Davis. It got Davis into a bad count. That was the second strike, and then he lined out to left with the bases loaded. There's a strike.
But, you know, the borderline pitch, I mean, that's the one that both pitchers complain about and hitters complain about, and that's the 2 inches on the black or off the plate. And if you're consistent as a pitcher, as I thought Andy Pettitte was today, Lance Barksdale, who I guess is taking the night off because Toby Basner is at third base. That's usually the rotation.
Swing and a miss.
Nice curveball.
Barksdale's at first for some reason.
I think they.
No, he's
Lance
out.
Barrett's at first.
No, the home plate umpire in a doubleheader usually is not working. He's not working the second game.
Okay.
They have 5 umpires. So Adrian Johnson did not work the first game. He's working the home plate in the second game here.
So Lance Barrett is at second.
Yes.
Had a Lance.
Gary Cedarstrom. The rotation now. Gary Cedarstrom at second. Lance Barrett at first.
I don't know about you, Al and Michael, but the more I see of Echeverria, the more I like him. I get the feeling this young man has a chance to be the Blue Jays shortstop of the future.
Count 0-2.
He smoked a high fastball in the first game for a 2-base hit. He actually went 2 for 4 in the first game this afternoon. Got a strong arm, big time range and short. And that's what you're looking for on artificial surface.
Well, they obviously have to solve a traffic jam because their starting shortstop, who's signed to a pretty big money contract, is Yunel Escobar. There's been some talk about moving Escobar to second. He doesn't want to move, so they might have to have Echeverria play second base, which would be a waste because he's really a good shortstop.
The more athletic player to me, just from a broad stroke, is Echeverria.
The 0-2. Foul back.
Laurie was on the disabled list. Echeverria was playing third base. We saw that earlier this year in Toronto, and he was okay. You could see he wasn't very comfortable, but just watching him at shortstop, he's pretty darn good.
You talk about money, Michael. They signed Echeverria to a 4-year deal.
Yep. $10 million.
$10 million. Cuba. Love comparisons to Ray Ordonez.
Talking to Brian Butterfield the last time the Blue Jays went, he said, what you want out of your shortstop is a guy that could turn hits into outs. He said everybody would like a player that makes all the plays. He said, but the special ones turn hits into outs. He said, and Echeverria turns hits into outs. And if you don't think that defense is important, I saw a stat yesterday about the Tigers. The Tigers have given up 90 base hits this year. That an average defense, according to the defensive metrics, would have turned into outs. 90 hits. It's one of the reasons they're having a disappointing season. You can't play bad defense usually and win a pennant. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on. We're in the second. Deuce is wild. Phelps had 11 pitches in the first inning. Now he's got 39 and about to deliver number 40 overall. The 2-2. And we're going to have more.
Well, we talked about this at the beginning of the game. You know, trying to keep that pitch count to somewhat economical, and now he's running to the rugged inning here at the top of the second.
And it'll be interesting, Kenny and Al, how Joe Girardi will deploy his bullpen in this game. He used 6 relief pitchers in the first game. Robertson threw a lot of pitches. Soriano got 4 outs. Boone Logan pitched, but wasn't in there that long, so should be interesting. That's grounded up the middle. A base hit for Echeverria. Aaron Sibia rounds third. He will score. Going to third is Johnson. It's an RBI single for the young shortstop Echeverria, and it's 1-0 Blue Jays.
Echeverria with his 3rd hit of the doubleheader. Looks like he goes out and gets a breaking ball here. Might not have been a strike, and he's still got decent wood on it. Just over the corner of the man. Looks like he got some nice overspin on it. Scooted it through the infield. And the Blue Jays jump out in front here in game 2. One of the 2 walks is scored.
So many times we've said this, and if we're on the air another 50 years, you'll say it. Walks will haunt you. That's all there is to it. And he walked 2 people in this inning. Here it goes. Has to skip rope to get out of the way. How frustrating was it, Al, all kidding aside, to walk people and know you're just putting them on for nothing? I know you weren't trying to. Your ball just moved a lot.
Right. Very frustrating, because it's what you would teach. You do teach little leaguers to throw strikes, get ahead, make your defense work for you. And, just the whole tempo thing. And you're on the mound. You're trying to throw strikes. You realize you don't want to throw center cut all the time. You're trying to go for corners. You get behind in the count. Then you're now saying, okay, just throw a strike. It becomes such a mind game when you're off. You're off early in the count. That's why I think a third pitch is so important. And watching so far, David Phelps' fastball curve. Mentioned about the first inning, it was all fastballs except one curveball. Now he's got to kind of throw a little bit. If you got a changeup, Kenny, I don't know how you were facing guys that had good changeups. It just gets you free outs. It gets you into counts.
You're a little uncomfortable when they have a good one, because especially when you get to 2 strikes and you haven't seen it yet during the at bat.
There's a strike.
And also, too, a changeup to me is a hit. It looks like a pitch that you'd want to swing at, because it looks like a fastball. You're out in front. Usually has plate coverage. Sometimes the curveball is difficult to get called strikes, because it's got a big break. It's got a big variation. You see where the catcher catches it. Sometimes it's off the plate. The slider, you got a better chance of getting called strikes if you're struggling with your command. And right now, David Phelps' fastball curve.
Swing and a miss. He gets ghost, and that'll do it. But the Blue Jays score a run on 1 hit, 2 walks, and 2 runners left on base. We go to the bottom of the second. Granderson will lead off. 1-0 Jays. Inning on the Time Warner Cable scoreboard. Curtis Granderson will lead off against Ricky Romero. And there's a strike. Fly ball left field. Ghost is there to put it away. Kenny, 2 games I enjoy. I always enjoy time at the ballpark with you, but I'm a little worried because we've got Lucas Mucus sitting next to us today he's coughing and he's sick. I've never seen Outlier sick. I've known him 25 years, and you know he's going to infect us. You just know it.
I'm sorry. I really am. I think it's just like a nasal thing.
Yeah, and we're all going to get it.
No. Like, like allergies.
Okay, that's what everybody says when they're sick. Thanks, Lucas.
I'm sorry.
Can you turn your back out?
Yeah, to both of us. Pitch the Knicks is inside. This is what Al did in between games.
That's pretty good. That's me right there, guys. Oh, ooh.
And there's Kenny going, why is he doing this?
I'll tell you what, I can see why you better have good, clear vision because.
Wow, we have cameras jumping around.
Huh?
Good job, though.
Not bad, right?
Yeah.
See Guardy out there doing a little fielding, throwing. Look good.
He's getting closer, isn't he? He looked pretty good out there.
Yes.
There he is.
Yesterday he was running, and I talked to Robbie Thompson, the Yankee third base coach, about his progress, and he said he looked awesome, which means pretty darn fast.
Is he hitting?
No, he's running and fielding.
Jason Nix walks.
There's the problem for Ricky Romero all season long, the base on balls. Every time he walks somebody, that league-leading total jumps up a tick, and now up to 96. He's closing in on 100 base on balls this year. It's been the best of times and the worst of times. 8-1 to 8-14.
With not an injury issue.
No.
I mean, to have a dramatic change in your numbers and stuff, or not your stuff, just your numbers.
Talking to the Blue Jays people, they say it's starting to be mind games now for them. That when something starts to go wrong, oh, here we go again. And there he is. He's leading the league in walks. And he has already set the single season record for consecutive losses for the Blue Jays. 13 in a row. The record itself is 13, but it was Tom Underwood who did it over 2 seasons, 78 and 79, 13 straight losses. But Ricky's done it all in 1 season. Underwood, like Romero, was a left-hander.
Yeah, Tommy Underwood.
Pitched for the Phillies, the Cardinals, the Blue Jays, the Yankees, Oakland, and Baltimore.
There's that good change. And the count 1-2 on Casey McGee. Nothing Blue Jays. We're in the bottom of the second in the second game of a day-night doubleheader. Runner goes. Grounded foul, so trying to get something going here. Sending Nix.
As much as Romero uses his changeup, if you guess correctly, and Nix did, it gives you a little extra time to get down to second base, put even more pressure on Aaron Sebia to quicken up that throw to second. Romero's always been with the Blue Jays. He was a #1 pick out of Cal State Fullerton. First-round pick in 2005, and he had pitched on the national championship team in 2004. So he had already tasted success by the time he had been signed as a #1 pick.
Runner goes, and he's picked off. And the throw is thrown away, and Nix just gets back.
I told you that Gomes has played several positions: third, first, catcher, and some outfielder. Here he misfires on the throw to second. And Nix almost gets picked off for a second time as he thought maybe the ball was deeper in the center field. He could continue back to second base. Take a look. Nope. Got to get back to first. Just ahead of the tag.
Romero really slows down with a runner on first here.
The danger of going on first move with the left-hander. Obviously, you got to wait. There's certain nuances in a left-handed leg kick. Andy Pettitte does the best of anybody, maybe anybody in the game. To be able to hang there long enough, look at the runner, and still have the same delivery.
Got a great jump that time. Aaron Sibby had no chance. Didn't handle the ball. Well, he read something in Romero's move, because before Romero even went home, Nix was off and running.
Yeah, this time, in this case, the second time was a charm. Aaron Sibby can't handle it. It was an off-speed pitch, looked like a curveball that just didn't bite. And 6 stolen base for Jason Nix. Takes a glance to see what's happening at home plate. No throw coming. And he's in scoring position.
Just missed outside. Romero wanted that one, but McGee works a walk. Third walk issued by Romero.
You know, there's a lot of times when you're on first, and believe me, I was not a base stealer, but we're going to take a look at this 3-2 pitch, and it is off the corner. It's ball 4. But when pitchers throw over the first base, they do it quite often when they're thinking about throwing a changeup on the next pitch. So if you're a good base stealer and you can read into that, I'm not saying you're always right, but they're trying to make sure the runner's held closely. You don't get a good jump. So maybe Nix read that and then took off for a second on an off-speed pitch and made it easy.
Ichiro with a bunt. Foul ball. Now, we talked about this in the first game, and Kenny, you ended up being right. Andrew Jones has really been struggling since the All-Star break. He just can't seem to buy a hit. And Joe Girardi kept running him out there against lefties, and we thought he might do that in the second game, but you pointed out that Ichiro has very good numbers against Romero. So Joe sits down Andrew Jones and starts Ichiro against the lefty.
Yeah, plus Ichiro had 3 hits in the first game, and you like to keep that going. I think he's been hot lately, too.
Ground ball up the middle. He stays hot. A base hit for Ichiro. Nix rounds third. He's coming home. Here's the throw. Out. What a throw by Rasmus, and a good tag by Aaron Sibia for the second out.
Wow. We saw it in the first game. Colby Rasmus, a similar throw. That is a perfect strike. Aaron Sibia holds on to it. Can't tell from that angle. This should be a good shot right here.
Can't tell from that either.
Well, if he's going for his foot, trying to elude the shin guard.
He's out. He's on the side.
Yeah, he is.
What a throw from Colby Rasmus.
Wow, he charged that ball nicely and all the way on the fly to home plate. He wasn't thinking about any cutoff man.
Here's Chris Stewart. Shows bunt, takes high.
See him block the plate, get that left foot on the corner, so Nix would have to go around him. And it takes a little longer to do that. And just in time to get him at the plate.
Similar throw in the first game. Granderson fly ball to center. Rasmus throwing it on a dime. Jeff Mathis couldn't hold on to it. Robinson Cano was able to score.
it almost seems, I mean, you can say I'm wrong, it almost seems like Rasmus did not wash his face from the first game. Because nobody has eye black on. It's a night game. He still got the faded eye black.
The remnants?
Yeah, from the first game.
But that wouldn't be, it wouldn't seem that way. I think it
He didn't wash his
absolutely
face then. Well, I mean, there's a lot of time between games. I mean, you were running the camera. He didn't wash his face.
It's not right.
Tell you what, it didn't bother his arm, did it?
3-1. There's a strike. Runners go. Grounded.
Well, Ricky Romero's already walked 3. We told you he leads the league in walks. And you keep handing out extra opportunities to the other. Eventually, they're going to cash in. He's saved him a run by his center fielder. There's the pitching coach, Bruce Walton.
That goatee was dark before Ricky Romero started this game. The 3-2. Driven deep to left field. That could be trouble. It is a base hit. And it bounces into the seats. That'll tie the game. As McGee scores, Ichiro moves to third. It's an RBI double for Stewart. It's a 1-1 game.
Also, when you get to predictable counts, and this is a fastball right there. Is count 3-2 or
3-2 count?
3-2 count. Predictable, more predictability for the hitter looking for a fastball. You're the number 9 hitter. He doesn't want to trick you. And all of a sudden, line it up and right down the line. And the Yankees, the ball bounces into the seats.
Well, he doubled down too, Kenny. The previous pitch was a fastball, and he ripped it foul over the Blue Jay dugout and came back with the identical pitch. Able to keep his hands inside and push it down the left field line.
Looks like that was more of a talking to than an instructional visit. And I think a lot of the concern with Romero is that he has a bit of a defeatist attitude of late. Because of all the losing, he keeps expecting something. He's pitching as he's looking in the rearview mirror.
There's doubt. As good as the pitcher he is, and the All-Star year he had last year, when you have the numbers that he has, there's a lot of doubt. You don't believe in yourself.
Here's Jeter, and there's a strike. Jeter singled in the first inning, his 200th hit of the season. It extended his hitting streak to 13 straight, and during that hitting streak, 23 for 56. That's 410. Hitting 324 overall.
And the league's leading hitter against left-handed pitching.
Count 0-2.
And that's not something that's just happened recently. That's been at least half the season. He's been the league's leading hitter against lefties. So that's,
how about his whole career? I'm not saying league leader, but he's worn out lefties over the years.
Count 1-2. So the two captains are now tied with 8 200 hit seasons. Lou Gehrig and Derek Jeter. And that's the most in Yankee franchise history. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. Got him on the change, and that'll do it. But the Yankees tie the score. 1 run on 2 hits, 2 walks, and 2 men left. We go to the third. It's a 1-1 game on My 9. Tampa Bay's been struggling 1-1 with Boston out top of the third inning. White Sox and KC. White Sox leading the Central. Angels starting to play very good baseball, making a run at the wild card. And then that game, Baltimore-Seattle, with Seattle sending Felix Hernandez to the mound after an 18-inning loss to the Orioles yesterday. Washington beat the Dodgers 3-1. That was in the first game. Bottom of the first, it's no score. These are big games for the Dodgers to make an East Coast swing when they're trying to make a run at the wild card. 1-0 to Rajay Davis. Phillies lead the Mets 1-0, bottom of the third.
That game that Baltimore played, well, actually it was last night and early today.
Yep. Ended at 10 minutes to 4.
East Coast time. Look out. Almost walked into one. Looked like a two-seam fastball running in on the hands of Rajay Davis, young man from Connecticut.
How about Matt Wieters last night, catching all 18 innings?
Line to left field, it's a base hit. So Rajay Davis, who was a threat to steal, he leads off the third with a single. Davis with 44 stolen bases, although he has been caught 11 times.
I told you about his on-base percentage, under 30%. To have that many steals, you are just about, once he gets to first, he's ready to set sail for second. He's not like you remember Ricky Henderson? He got on base so many times. His on-base percentage regularly around 40%.
Stole.
Yeah.
Well, 138.
Pitch is low.
The all-time leader in the single season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Runner goes, throw to second. They got him in plenty of time. Wow, did they gut him down almost easily. Jeter applies the tag.
Not a great lead in his jump. I mean, just a nice throw by Chris Stewart. Jeter applied the tag. Perfect spot. Jeter barely had to move his glove. See him looking in. Caught stealing now 12 times. That's just get on the base
and go.
Go.
Stewart got rid of that ball quickly, didn't he?
Nice transfer.
Quick release. There's some quarterbacks wish they had to release that quick.
Popped up. Jeter makes the play for the second out. Pitch is low to Laurie. Count 2-0.
One of the good-looking young players, Brett Laurie, from Vancouver, Canada, got hurt. Big injury. This guy was a #1 draft pick a few years ago by the Brewers.
Lined into right field. Nice running play by Swisher. And he took an extra base hit away from Brett Laurie. Good jump by Swisher. Hustling into the gap. Hauled it in, and then a little eye wash there. A little tuck and roll. But got the job done as we go to the bottom of the third. Weeknight, Dish Nation has America's funniest DJs, including the great Scott and Todd from New York WPLJ, with all the juicy gossip and hot celebrity news. Tune in to Dish Nation weeknights at 6 and 11 p.m. here on My 9. So Nick Swisher with a nice catch to end the top of the third, leads off the bottom of the third. And there's a strike. One game.
Well, we all know that Canada is a hockey-crazed nation. That's their national sport north of the border.
Sure.
Ricky Romero has a hat trick against the Yankees this year. He's lost 3 times. He's trying to avoid the golden sombrero. He lost to the Yankees July 18th here at Yankee Stadium. The game the Yankees won 6-0. He lost to the Yankees in Toronto on August the 16th. The game the Yankees won 10-4. And Michael mentioned the game he lost on August 28th here at the stadium when he pitched pretty well. The Yankees won 2-1. He was outpitched by Phil Hughes.
Check swing. Did he go? No.
But in each one of those games, he's gone fairly deep into the game. 6, 7, and 7 innings.
You know, looking at that, Kenny, that you look through his starts. I mean, he's had a few real clunkers. Actually, 3 of them 2 starts ago against Tampa Bay. 1 inning, 7 runs. A few weeks back against Oakland, an inning and a third, 8 runs.
Yeah, the game where he walked 8. That was another game that he had.
Well, that one he gave up 5 in Detroit.
The 3-2. And he walks another.
Yeah, there we go. You know, and this goes back to the pitch before the 3-2 pitch. There's a changeup, but there's too many changeups in the dirt this year that nobody's swinging at anymore. The opposition's laying off, and it runs the count a little deeper, and there's a danger of coming back, missing again, and you saw it. Swisher draws a leadoff walk here in the third. And eventually, you can't pitch around all these walks. Unless you're Nolan Ryan.
Punch out 15.
Yeah. People know that Ryan's the all-time leader in strikeouts. They don't know. They're more or less to know the fact that he's also walked the most batters. A very uncomfortable at-bat, to say the least.
Did you get him?
It depends on what you mean by got him.
Big fly over the wall.
Never took Nolan deep, but I did hit 300. So I was willing to give up the big swing. Just peck away at him.
Foul back.
Cano. Usually Robbie goes for that walk when he's had a swing that he feels he should have connected on, and he just. This is it right here. You get this pitch maybe once in at bat, it's right there, and he's couldn't quite get on top of it. Now he goes for that little walk, and he's sort of like reminding yourself, oh, I should hit that. What am I doing? I'm not going to get that again, at least not in this at bat.
Grounded. Second baseman Johnson, and he'll get Cano, and the Swisher moves to second. Hey, Friday night the Yankees are back on My 9 as they take on the Oakland Athletics, the surprising A's. It all starts at 7 p.m. as the Bombers face the A's, and everybody's got their eyes set on the postseason. The Yankees, Athletics, Friday night at 7 here on My 9, and CC Sabathia will start that game for the Yanks.
How about the A's sticking around? Similar story as the Baltimore Orioles. Who would have thunk it?
Oakland losing 2-0 to Detroit now in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Pitch outside.
You know, you talk about pitchers that are struggling here. Ricky Romero has been wild, but still has the possibility of pitching a good ball game. We saw it with Henderson Alvarez, who came in with a high ERA. Other than the first inning, did a nice job. You look at the Yankees schedule and you say, okay, well, you have Oakland in it, and then maybe you should win against these series. The Red Sox struggling, Toronto struggling, Minnesota struggling, but you still got to play. These are guys, major leaguers. They're trying to win a job, either young kids for next year, veteran guys not wanting to embarrass themselves down the stretch.
Fouled away by A-Rod.
And I think there's some teams that you just don't want to assume anything. You got to play through it.
You don't. Nobody wants to come on the field and embarrass themselves.
No.
Let's put it that way, in front of big crowds down the stretch, no matter who you play.
See Toronto tomorrow night, then the 3 games against Oakland, a road trip, 3 in Mini, 4 in Toronto, and finishing up with 3 here at the stadium against the Boston Red Sox. Fouled away.
You saw what happened to the Phillies. Nice little run they had. Went down to Houston, record-wise, worst team in baseball. Lost 3 of 4.
That was a killer for them.
Yeah.
The 1-2 upstairs, 2-2.
Well, is that the up and in, change up, down and away, or will he double up inside?
That's what you got to try and figure out if you're up there hitting. Look for a fastball, adjust to anything else with 2 strikes.
The 2-2. Swing and a miss.
Good shade.
Yes, it was. That was a good one because it was close enough to the strike zone that Alex committed.
Speed him up. 92 or better near your eyeballs, and then the changeup that just drops out. It's middle of the play. You see Alex out in front. Had good late downward movement, and that's the effectiveness of fast, slow, in and out. Saw the 92 up near the face, and then about 78 down the way.
Here's Granderson. Wednesday's been a big day for Granderson. He has 8 home runs, which is the American League lead for home runs on a Wednesday. Yeah.
Stats for everything.
I would think it's hard to have the most home runs on a Monday or a Thursday because those are usually your off days.
Have the most, right? Off day?
So you won't play as many games.
So the leader might have like 2 or 3, yeah.
Right. The 1-1. Grounded foul. The next home run for Curtis will be his 40th. As you see, the American League or the Major League home run leader list. And if he gets 40, he'll have back-to-back 40 home run years. The first time a Yankee outfielder has done that since Mickey Mantle.
One of those years Mickey hit 50. Hit 54. And I think he missed like the last 10 days of the season because he didn't play in the World Series. Maybe had 1 at bat. That was in 1961. The Yankees beat the Cincinnati Reds.
This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the New York Yankees. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees.
Of course, that was the year that Roger Maris hit 61 home runs.
2-2. Strike three. Granderson down looking. So Romero survives another walk as the Yankees leave 1 run on. We'll go to the 4th inning. 4, 5, and 6 in the Blue Jay order. Verizon 4G LTE, America's fastest 4G network. Who was the only Blue Jays pitcher to be selected to the All-Star game during their 1992 championship season?
Huh?
You know this one?
No.
Weren't you on the team?
No. I was called up at the end of the year. 93, I was there.
But I mean, you were part of the organization.
Yeah, I have.
It's an outrage. You don't know this.
No, I have a couple. I have a good guess.
All right. Adam Lind against David Phelps. Fouled away. We're 1-1 in the 4th. Orioles in Seattle at 10:10 tonight. Joe Saunders against Felix Hernandez. Count 1-1. Nub foul.
There's another Blue Jay that's just about every one of them been on the DL. Lynn had back problems this year.
Boy, remember a couple years ago? Yeah. He was right up there with Pujols, over 300, 30 home runs, 100 RBIs.
Yep.
Has not been the same. Sent him down.
Yeah, went to Las Vegas for a while, which, you know, some people wouldn't think that's a punishment. Going to Las Vegas.
It wouldn't be if it wasn't AAA.
The Mets just signed a contract with Las Vegas to be their AAA team starting next year, leaving Buffalo.
So the Blue Jays are out of there.
I guess.
Yeah, they don't have 2 teams in with.
But Blue Jays now, I think, are going to Buffalo,
which is closer to Toronto.
Now, Adam Lind struck out, and John Fowler's going to ask if that was a foul ball. He's told it's not.
Well, he swung and it hit him.
Oh, man.
That's double the pain, huh?
And the rule, obviously, you know this, the swing supersedes the hit by pitch. If you swing, that's what counts. I've always wondered why a team on the East Coast would have a AAA team 2,500 miles away. Sometimes you have to call somebody up and they have to be there.
Because you have no other option.
I think years ago the Pirates had their AAA team in Hawaii.
Yes.
Wow. Guys never wanted to come up.
That's right. Honolulu. No, I can't imagine. Exactly. Like, why would you, your East Coast team, you have a AAA club at the Pacific Coast League?
High fly ball. Swisher is there. Puts it away for the second out.
I think they were called the Islanders, if I'm not mistaken, the Hawaiian Islanders.
Never got a chance on that one. Columbus Clippers, ring your bell. That's where I was.
Columbus, Pittsburgh for years.
Famous Columbus shuttle.
Before the Yankees got there.
You ever get on the Columbus shuttle up? Back and forth?
Only because of injuries.
To you? Or to you?
To me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. There were some guys on that. A couple bad games, get sent out. Come back.
Count 1-1.
Phelps has a chance for a nice bounce back inning here. A 1-2-3. Had one in the first inning. He got help from Chris Stewart, his catcher, in the third. He only faced 3 batters because he threw out Rajai Davis attempting to steal. Well, here's when you want to get that pitch count a little more manageable if you can. Stretch yourself further into the game.
Close pitch down. Good take by Kelly Johnson.
Give yourself an opportunity to pick up a victory.
Still 2-2. Johnson walked in the second inning.
Phelps' only other start against the Blue Jays this year. He was in line for the victory, but that was the game that Soriano gave up the home run to Colby Rasmus in the 9th inning, and the Blue Jays won.
Were you able to foul balls off? I think about you're talking about pitch count. So here we are, 71 pitches. Guys that are able to handle the bat and fight off or spoil the pitcher's pitch. Fouled off.
You know, I think one thing I had going for me, I didn't swing at many pitches out of strike zone, so that's how I helped raise the pitch counts of pitchers. I didn't swing at many pitches out of the zone.
Just missed inside.
Like that one.
Yeah. But are guys consistently able to foul off pitches?
Certain hitters get reputations for that.
If there was a pitch count issue, often it was.
Brett Gardner's like that. Brett Gardner. Yeah.
Just fouled off. Fouled off.
Swing and a miss. Johnson down on strikes. Strong inning for David Phelps as he retires the Blue Jays in order. Jason Nix will lead off the bottom of the inning. is the Verizon trivia question. Who was the only Blue Jays pitcher to be selected to the All-Star game during their 1992 championship season?
Juan Guzman. Guzman.
Wow.
Yes.
He had good stuff, didn't he?
Jack Morris kind of threw me off a little. And I know David Cohn was traded later at the trade deadline off the team.
Backhanded by Laurie. Gets to his feet, fires, and he gets nicks for the first out of the fourth.
So an example of the dexterity of Laurie at third. I feel he's going to be a very good third baseman. Got a good arm, quick. His ball wasn't hit all that hard. Gave him time to take 1, 2, 3. Almost lay out, brace himself with the right hand down to a knee, then pop up. Now watch how quickly he gets up and delivers. Man, nice play.
1-1, bottom of the fourth. Here's Casey McGee. And you talk about toughness and selling out your body. Check out Brett Laurie earlier in the season here at Yankee Stadium.
That's Teixeira with the foul ball. Laurie over near the camera well. Oh, man. Wow. He sells out, doesn't he? Watch him hit his right foot on the bar there. And that, yeah, he limped off. He had to come out of the ball game.
I saw that first time, and I just so grateful for him. He wasn't. It looked like he broke a few bones.
Count 2-1.
Football mentality. Hockey, football, just 100 degrees, 100 miles an hour.
There's a change up in the dirt again. Runs the count to 3-1. So McGee can sit on the heater. Sit on a fastball here. Even if it's a change up for a strike, he can take it. Don't swing at it. Just get what you want and go to town.
Again, Laurie gets a shot. Sets deep, fires, and a nice backhand by Gomes to get Casey McGee.
Well, first of all, Laurie, where he's standing now, that's where he was playing. He was playing deep third base, almost back on the grass. If he'd been playing where he was when Nix was up, that would have been by him and on down the line. It was hit that hard. But from the foul territory, well on the grass, across the diamond, dug out by Gomes. And another nice play by Laurie at third base. Almost escaped the glove of Gomes, but there are two down. Two nice plays by the third baseman.
Ichiro, a base hit past the diving Gomes and down the right field line. Playing to the corner is Davis, and Ichiro will stop at second with a double. His fifth hit in the doubleheader. 3 in the first game and 2 in his first 2 at-bats here in the second game.
Well, he's working that bat like a baton. I thought that base hit up the middle was just beautiful swing, tying Ernie Banks on the all-time hit list. What a special hitter he has been, major league hitter. Japan as well, high fastball, just gets on top of it. Good, nice level swing. Hot smash past Yan Gomes. Watch Gomes here, reaction time. Just couldn't reach it. Beautiful shot.
Oh my goodness. So he's tied with Mr. Cub.
Dribbled slowly back to Romero. And Stewart is out, and that will do it. No runs a hit, no errors, and 1 man left. We played 4 at the stadium. It's a 1-1 game. And Gomes will lead off the 5th. Enjoy all the things you love better. TV, internet, home phone from Time Warner Cable. Your Tri-State Ford dealers and by Prudential. Bring your challenges. All right, we go to the 5th inning. It's 1-1 on the scoreboard, brought to you by the New York Lottery. Hey, you never know. Yan Gomes will lead it off here in the 5th against David Phelps. Gomes struck out in the 2nd. High fly ball. Left center field. Granderson puts it away. 1 pitch, 1 out.
That is a big league pop.
Tells you got good wood on it. But straight up to silo.
For 1 pitch, 1 out. You talk about pitch counts here in the 5th inning. 74 pitches. Very respectable. Get a couple quick outs here.
Retired 7 in a row.
Echeverria takes a strike.
Make that 6.
Smart pitch right there from David Phelps. Echeverria showed he could hit the fastball early in the count. His last at bat, a little curveball, he stayed with it. I can see why the Blue Jays like him.
Lined into center field, and Granderson is right there for the 2nd out.
And those are a couple examples right there of missing in the zone and still getting major league hitters out. Gomes just missed it. Big long fly ball. Watch here, you see Chris Stewart setting up inside, missed location outside, wanted it up and in. Echeverria putting his foot down. Nice, good swing, barrel through the middle of the zone.
One thing we've seen, he can hit a high fastball.
Yes,
he can.
Count 2-0.
You know, Ghost is batting 9th. He did the opening game, and he's batting 9th again this game. But this is a type of hitter I think the Blue Jays would like to develop into a leadoff hitter. As somebody who can, he's got great speed. He's got the type of speed he can deliver tomorrow's paper today. That's how fast he is. And the thing about it, that right now he's kind of feeling his way as a hitter.
There's a strike. Hitting the road. Take the Yankees with you this season. Subscribe to MLB.tv today to see all 14 remaining Yankee games, out-of-market games, live online and on your favorite devices in HD quality. Visit Yankees.com to order and get more details. MLB.tv. Baseball everywhere.
Look out.
Luckily, everybody's okay.
All of a sudden, it's bat day.
Good one, Joe.
Strike 3, goes down looking. And goes down looking. Phelps retires the side in order. We're halfway through. Jeter leads off the bottom of the 5th. 38, 200 hits. And that leads the major league by 11 over Miguel Cabrera. Andrew McCutchen, 17 behind. Adrian Beltre, 25 behind.
Just amazing. Derek's all-time career high in hits is 219. He's got a chance.
Yeah. He singled in the first inning for his 200th hit. Romero deals. Right back to Romero. That was ticketed up the middle, but a good stab by Romero for the first out.
Derek had the 219 hits in 1999.
New York Lottery scoreboard, it's 1-1, bottom of the fifth inning. Here's Swisher, 2 walks against Romero. You see a guy at the plate who might be the forerunner to a guy like Ricky Romero. The Yankees made a great trade with the White Sox, and they bought low. Nick Swisher had an awful year with the White Sox, and the Yankees made a trade, and Swisher's really been a very good player for them. And that one's past Laurie into left field. Swisher rounds first, he'll stop right there. We'll see how they score that. And they give him a base hit.
Swisher hit a rocket at Laurie in the first game. Got it by him on his left side. This time he picks on his right side. Ball stays down, it gets underneath the glove. Laurie's not going to think that Swisher's picking on him. Swisher drove in the insurance run in the 8th inning of the first game on a rocket right by Laurie.
The point I was making about Swisher is sometimes if you do a good job scouting and you think that somebody could rebound with you, you buy low and you hope it goes up like a stock. Ricky Romero, with his stuff, that would be a guy that another team would say, I could fix him. He's got great stuff. I'll be able to make it work. I don't know if Toronto would give him up.
No, that's a good example. I think Romero could be that guy because you look at the numbers. As poorly as he's pitched, you know, we're seeing a guy again tonight. These are the last 2 starts against the Yankees that he has shown the very stuff that he won 15 games last year and made the All-Star team.
Remember talking to Brian Cashman about how the Yankees got Nick Swisher from the White Sox. And as you said, Michael, he didn't have a very good year, but there was research in the Yankee front office that showed that Nick Swisher hit in as poor luck as anybody in the league that year. His average was low. He still think he hit 20 home runs or 20 plus homers. But that particular year, he must have lined out more than anybody in the American League. So you had to feel his luck wasn't going to continue to be that poor. And certainly when he came to the Yankees, he had better seasons.
Lined into center field, it's a base hit for Cano.
I'm trying to remember where that conversation took place. I think it was Brian and I were sitting in a dugout in the postseason. You know, when we go on the road for some pre- and post-game shows. And it was talking. It might have been Philly. It might have been. I'm not sure. But we had that conversation. He pointed out in detail how the Yankees were able to get Nick Swisher from the Chicago White Sox.
And I think they also had research, Kenny, that showed that Nick Swisher and the manager of the White Sox couldn't stand beside of each other.
I was going to add that part.
They didn't get along, Nick and Ozzie Guillen.
So it might have helped expedite his way out of Chicago.
Yep. Here's Alex Rodriguez. Pitches outside.
Now, this is the 3rd time that Alex has been up with a runner in scoring position in this game. And you were supposed to learn something from your previous at-bats no matter what you did. Whether it was a base hit or you made it out. And particularly avoid making outs in the same manner. He's thrown him a lot of changeups early in the count, then fastballs late in the count.
Foul back. Just missed that pitch.
Yeah, changeup followed by a fastball. Make the fastball look faster.
Okay, so now you say learn from your experience. That was the same setup, except it was 1-2. Made it 2 strikes. Here we go. Does he double up inside, or are you sitting on that changeup?
That was a pretty good pitch, though. It was in. It tied him up.
If it's anything like that last at bat, here comes the changeup.
And he swings and misses.
That was a curveball.
Crowd not liking that strikeout.
Just anxious. I mean, he sees the ball, and once he commits, it's just at that point, just hope you foul it off. Romero showed the fastball, standing him up inside. Nice changeups, and now here this is a curveball. Romero has not thrown many curveballs tonight. Alex just couldn't lay off.
Two strikeouts in this game, 2 strikeouts for A-Rod in the first game. Granderson takes inside.
Hitter's count. Now, what are you going to do here?
Well, based on what he did last time, he did the same thing. 2 slow curveballs, got a fastball away. Grandy fouled it off. He eventually struck him out on a curveball. I'm staying away. Anywhere on the outer third, if he's going to beat me, he's got to go left center to try to get inside here, especially here at Yankee Stadium.
He didn't quite get it away.
He actually, I don't know what that was, because Aaron Sevilla is set up down the middle. And I can't imagine a 2-0 count. Yankee Stadium, the guy with 39 jacks is going to go right down the middle. He's set up right down the middle, and that was a fastball that ended up inside.
This is a dangerous pitch, but he got away with it. Granderson pulls it foul.
Well, if he took a little off.
It was only 90. He can throw 94. Maybe it's a little cutter.
There's a strike.
So maybe Grandy's thinking along the lines of, well, I would pitch him. I mean, here at the stadium, it's the danger of, if you miss any kind of decent wood on it, could be a home run on the inside part of the plate. You know, this right now, the way it's shaping up, the way Phelps and Romero's throwing, it's going to come down to a mistake. Either battle of the pens or a mistake by a starter.
They are talking over every pitch here. I don't know if it has anything to do with Swisher at second, but by going to 3-2, that gives Swisher a chance to get a little better jump off of second and Cano from first. And Swisher get a running start.
3-2. Swing and a miss. Granderson down on strikes for the second time. So the Yankees strand 2 despite picking up 2 hits. We'll go to the 6th. Top of the order for the Blue Jays coming up. to your local Nissan dealer. September 19, 2011, Rivera recorded his 602nd career save, and with that he becomes the all-time Major League leader. He get pushed out to the mound for a curtain call by Jorge Posada. A great day here at the stadium.
Well, it was. The all-time leading security blanket.
Here's Rajai Davis against David Phelps. And a strike. Chop to third, A-Rod. Gets the hustling Davis for the first out here in the sixth.
Nice job. David Phelps, quick outs too. Getting ahead, pounding the zone. Looks like now the third time around he's cutting the fastball a little bit, changing speeds on it.
5 strikeouts along the way. 2 walks.
Here's Colby Rasmus. He's 0 for 2 tonight. Outside. 1-0.
Who did get?
Adrian Johnson.
Adrian Johnson. Man, right in the bicep.
Those old American League balloon protectors seem a pretty good idea right now. They would cover everything.
Yeah, but they said you couldn't call a low strike.
You ever have a low strike call on you?
They guessed too low.
1-2.
That was the premise behind it, right? National League didn't have
the
balloon protector,
yeah.
so they had low strike zone or a bigger strike zone.
Kind of reminds you, Michael asked you about low strikes. And remember when Kareem Abdul said the all-time, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar said the all-time record for fouls in the NBA?
Right.
He said all of them were bad calls. Every single one of them.
Swing and a miss.
Good pitch. Yeah, this has to do a pitcher's heart good to watch this thing.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
You know what? He's also here. He's establishing and throwing inside fastballs. And again, the danger, I think, by talking about Granderson's at bat here at Yankee Stadium especially, he just was very good with combinations of fastball in on Rasmus. Let him off with a changeup, and now that little slider, actually curveball with slider speed. Great combination.
There's a strike to Laurie. Ground ball is short. Jeter's right there. And that'll do it. 11 in a row retired by David Phelps. Yankee offense needs to step up. It's a 1-1 game as we go to the bottom of the sixth. Knicks will lead off. baseball here at Yankee Stadium. And as we move along, we'll take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard, which is brought to you by Chase. Take a step forward with Chase Quick Pay by sending money as easily as sending an email. So Romero and Phelps hooked up in a pitcher's duel. And here's Nix. Now, the Yankees won the first game 4-2, but their offense didn't do much. They scored 3 runs in the first inning and then shut it down until they got a run in the 8th. They've had opportunities in this game as well, but still 1 run on the board despite having a lot of runners on base. They've stranded 7 over 5 innings.
At least 1 in every inning. And when you look at the first game, it was the Blue Jays who left 11 men on base. The Yankees only left 2.
Lined right at Laurie. Boy, he's got the crosshairs in his glove all day. 1 away.
Well, reaction position, hot smash again. Brett Laurie right in front of it. Positioning made it an easier play.
Second time he's made a play on a hot shot off the bat of Nix.
Here's Casey McGee. Pitch is low from Romero.
Well, just looking at both games, Romero is doing a nice job. He's pitching like the all-star he was last year. But you look at every lineup, and I did it as a pitcher. You know, you look at your 3, 4, 5 that you're facing. If you look at the first game, the struggles of both Alex and Granderson 0 for 6. In those 0 for 6, there were 3 strikeouts. And you're middle of the lineup again, 0 for 6 again with 4 strikeouts.
Dribbled slowly to third, charging Laurie. Bare hands, fires. Nice play by the third baseman for the second out.
And while, of course, it's a complete lineup, you know, you look for your damage guys to produce, especially with runners on.
Now he's playing back, and watch the quick feed here. Barehanded play, sets himself up, throws across the body on the run, accurate throw. He's made some nice plays. He's had all types of chances in that. Rockets. And now on a slow roller, swinging type bunt. See the finger spread open wide so you can catch the ball. Then you re-grip as you come up. Make sure you catch the ball. Open your hands wide, catch it in the palm, then re-grip and throw.
And another base hit for Ichiro. 3 hits in the first, 3 hits here in the second, a 2-out single.
I think he's got a direction on it. He's able to hit it where it's thrown, but also find the hole. The way he's able to stay back, as special a hitter as he is, there he said, with the 53 games, over 300 with the Yankees.
He hit 260 with Seattle, so he's done a nice job with the Yanks. And with his speed, they might be playing him every game the rest of the way, even against lefties. There's Chris Stewart. And Ichiro's playing for a job next year. He wants to play. So he wants to finish strong and be in a playoff series for the first time since 2001 and show that he still has it. He needs to play a couple more years, 3 more years to get to 3,000 hits, which is something he wants. And if you combine his hits in Japan and his hits here, he's closing in on Pete Rose's number.
Yeah, 4,000 plus.
With that single, his 5th 3-hit game as a Yankee. He has 14 for the season. Foul back here and out of play.
Of course, Ichiro, one of the best base stealers during his time, but I don't think he's apt to go here. I think he wants Stewart to hit. Either keep the inning going, or if he makes an out, Derek Jeter will lead off next inning.
Runner goes. There's a strike. The throw to second. Not in time.
And I was talking about reading changeups and knowing when something off speed's coming. Now Ichiro's a veteran. Here's your off speed breaking ball, and he's in there easily. So he is in scoring position now.
Good pitch to run up, but Michael, you had mentioned earlier Jason Nix had a great jump with a lefty looking at him. It's almost like they have something picked up. Whether, you know, lefties will have a certain cadence, or maybe look home, go to first, or look to first, go home.
Hammered foul.
It was a great jump, another great jump. Nix earlier in the game, and Ichiro right there.
Must be something, maybe something that got on video, just the way he makes his delivery. Certain pitchers fall into patterns with going to home or going to first as well. That's something that the first base coach Mick Kelleher is in charge of. He's the one who makes sure he looks at all the pitchers' pickoff moves.
And he goes to third. The pitch is low, and another stolen base for Ichiro. Now, if you're going to steal with 2 outs, you're going to steal third base, you know you're going to make it standing up. At least you have no chance of getting thrown out. So now he's 90 feet away from giving the Yankees a lead. It's 1-1, bottom of the 6th inning. Stewart's driven in the only run, and he's at the plate. Blocked by Aaron Sivia. And the count 3-2.
Nice job by Aaron Sivia. A lot of times pitchers will feel that gulp. If I'm having an off-speed pitch here, I better not bounce it, because if it goes to the backstop, it's a run score. The importance of a runner at third base.
Now, the last time up, or I should say the first time up for Stewart, when he drove in the run in the 2nd inning, he had run the count to 3-2. And he got himself a fastball. He drove it into the left field corner. The count right now, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Let's see what happens here.
Miss low. So that puts runners on first and third, and will bring up Derek Jeter with 2 outs. Survey says it's one of your favorite game shows, and now Family Feud is on at 5 p.m. Join Steve Harvey every weeknight for a full hour of big-time fun and outrageous survey answers. Think your family could win fast money? It's time to play the Feud, weeknights at 5 p.m. on My 9.
Well, we almost had it up here. The fact is that that's his 5th walk, and he went to a curveball on 3-2.
We can never feud up here.
Yeah. Unless it's making everybody sick.
That's Al's job today. Here's Derek Jeter. He's 1 for 3. Grounded to third. Laurie across the diamond. And that will do it. No runs, a hit, and 2 more runners left on base for the Yankees. It's 1-1. We're going to go to the 7th inning. Box Score brought to you by your tri-state area Volkswagen dealers. Visit VWDealer.com. Rajai Davis with a hit. Hechavarria with a hit and an RBI. Otherwise, that's it. A really good job by David Phelps, allowing just 2 hits over 6 innings and that 1 run, which came in the 2nd inning.
Great job by David Phelps. Probably his best start of the year. 2 hits. Moving the ball around, getting ahead, good counts, being aggressive.
Yankees tonight are 2 for 11 with runners in scoring position. Here's Adam Lynn. 1-0.
One of those innings you know, with the way pitch counts are today, you absolutely have an idea where you are. All you have to do is look up at the scoreboard. 96 pitches. You go strong right through the end. You have a chance to hopefully your team scores. You throw up a 0.
Grounded to short. Jeter to McGee. 1 away.
We are getting some stirring in the Yankee bullpen.
12 straight retired by Phelps. Last hit was by Rajai Davis in the 3rd, and he was erased on a steal attempt.
Always seems when a pitcher gets to that magic number of 100 pitches, bullpen gets up.
Popped up. Stewart gives it a look, runs out of room.
Yeah, that's true, Kenny. It's a bit of a shame. Not too long ago, guys repeatedly 120, 125, 130. And I'm not talking about the 60s or the 70s.
Well, in terms of with Phelps, though, he's a young pitcher. You know, he's not used to going all that deep. They certainly don't let you go that far in minor league games. I think this is where you really have to concentrate, make your pitches, though, when you're starting to get a little tired.
We had one other game, 2 outs in the 7th inning against Boston. His high pitch count is 98 pitches against Baltimore. Had a 95 pitch against Boston that game.
The 1-2. Grounded to short. Jeter. High throw and over the head of McGee. Backing up to Stewart, and Aaron Sibia will reach on the E6.
Here's the high throw, and one thing we ought to remember, I know that Jeter hadn't played shortstop lately, but he gets one over the head, and the Yankees are lucky this one does not go into the stands, or else Aaron Sibia had been at second base.
From that replay, Derek had probably one more step. Aaron Sibia, not the fastest guy in the Blue Jays, rushed the throw a little bit. Not getting his feet underneath, push the ball.
Here's Kelly Johnson. Kelly's 0 for 1 and walked. Pitch inside. Corey Wade throwing alongside Boone Logan. Yankees are happy they have Phelps pitching into the 7th. We mentioned this earlier. They used 6 relief pitchers in the first game. Count 3-0.
outside of Soriano and Robertson. All low pitch count. Chamberlain had 5 pitches, Logan 3. Eric Lowe 10.
There's a strike to Johnson. Count 3-1. High fly ball. Left field drifting back is Suzuki. He makes the play for the second out. That's going to bring up Gomes.
I would figure if he retires Gomes, this would probably be his last hitter. And the only way to get a win out of this is the Yankees score in the bottom half of the inning.
Ground ball right side, a base hit. Aaron Sibia around second will stop right there as Swisher throws behind Aaron Sibia. So Gomes reaches on the single, first and second with 2 men out. Two earned runs in the last 12 and a third innings if you look back to his last start against Boston. And Phelps in a little bit of a jam as Joe Girardi looks like he's going to stick with Phelps against Echevarria.
Get a pinch runner at second base. And it's going to be Mike McCoy taking over for Aaron Sibia.
So Echevarria today has driven in the only run, a single to center. That was in the second inning, and then lined out sharply to center field. Misses outside, 1-0.
Well, that's a spot right there. He showed he could hit the high fastball. He stayed back enough on a curveball. That little cutter down the way.
Missed away, 2-0.
Sitting dead right here. Fastball count.
Yeah, he's already proved to me he can hit a high fastball, so you got to be careful. He went with a breaking pitch.
Let the youngster loose. 3-0.
I don't think so.
Less than 7% of all 3-0 counts in the major leagues hitters swing.
He didn't want to walk. He does walk through on 4 pitches, and that loads the bases. And that is likely going to do it. As Joe Girardi seems somewhat reluctant. He's going to wait to see if there's a pinch hitter announced, but it's going to be Ghost coming up to the plate. So David Phelps has pitched well, but he's left the bullpen a little bit of a mess. Bases loaded, 2 outs in the 7th. We'll be back. are going to receive a limited edition miniature collectible Yankees Ford Fusion, courtesy of your Tri-State Ford dealers. For tickets, log on to Yankees.com, visit the stadium ticket window, Yankees clubhouse shops, or call Ticketmaster at 877-469-9849. Well, Joe Girardi makes the call to the bullpen, brought to you by Verizon Fios. Introducing Verizon Fios Quantum Speed, internet twice as fast as anything America has ever seen. And the call to the bullpen brings in Boone Logan to face Anthony Gose. Looks like they'll send up a pinch hitter.
It's Moises Sierra.
So Sierra will pinch hit for Gose. Big spot in this game with the way the Yankees have been having trouble scoring runs. Big hit for the Blue Jays here could do some serious damage. Sierra played in the first game. He was 1 for 3 with a walk, so he's on base twice.
Swings early, likes the fastball, inner half.
Inside. The 1-0. Hit sharply to second. Nix gobbles it up. And Logan comes on and does the job. No runs, a hit, 1 error, and the bases are left loaded for the Blue Jays. At the end of 6.5, it's time for the 7th inning stretch. Yankees and the Blue Jays are tied at 1. But today we will stay here and honor America, and the Yankees will have a special guest to sing God Bless America.
Attention, please. Ladies and gentlemen, will you please rise and remove your caps? During the month of September, the Yankees are celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month. And as part of the celebration, please direct your attention now to the microphone behind home plate and welcome 9-time Grammy Award winner Jose Feliciano. In honor of the servicemen and women stationed around the globe, he will now perform God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her with a light through the night, with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans, wide with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. Dios America, my home, sweet home.
God Bless America by Jose Feliciano. And the Yankees and the Blue Jays are tied at 1 in the night portion of this day-night doubleheader. Got some changes for the Blue Jays as we move along. This is the new defense. Davis moves from right to left. Sierra, who had pinch hit for goes to right. And Mathis takes over behind the plate. The new pitcher is Steve Delabar. Hard-throwing right-hander. They got him from Seattle. And he'll face Swisher, Cano, and A-Rod. So Romero pitched well, but his team didn't score enough runs for him to possibly get a win. But he will not get a loss. Count 0-1.
Another good start for Romero against the Yankees. Bit of a surprise the way he was pitching coming in.
95 miles an hour, 1-1.
Delabar does throw it very hard. We saw him in Seattle on the Yankee trip out to Safeco Field.
Tipped into the glove and the count 1-2.
Yeah, he's featuring a high hardwood, 95 miles an hour. The only thing with Delabar, with Seattle and Toronto, a combined 60 innings. 60-plus innings, but he's given up 12 home runs. That's a lot of home runs for a reliever.
Line to right field. Foul ball.
Delabar, what a story. He's a real-life Jim Morris, the guy who came back after injury, threw the ball real hard. Delabar was a school teacher last year. Elbow surgery, had pins in his elbow. Come back throwing 97 miles an hour.
The 1-2.
He actually fractured his elbow, had a metal plate in there, and thought his career was over. And he was working with some kids. All of a sudden, his arm strength started coming back. He was throwing 95 miles an hour. Before, he'd only been able to throw 93. Look at that.
And he has these stitches tattooed on top of where the scar is. 2-2. Swing and a miss. One away. Let's take a look at the Yankees in-game box score, brought to you by your tri-state area Volkswagen dealers. Visit VWDealer.com. Yankees have 7 hits, 1 by Jeter. That was his 200th hit. Nick Swisher a single and 2 walks. Robinson Cano picked up a single as well. Then you have to go down to the bottom of the order. Ichiro has 6 hits in this doubleheader, 3 in the first game. He's 3 for 3 tonight with a double thrown in there. And Chris Stewart, the only ribby. His double in the second inning drove in the Yankees' only run. Here's Cano. 96, he dials that one up to 0-1.
That's quite a story. You think your career is absolutely over with, and all of a sudden you're back in business.
Grounded to first. Gomes for the second out.
On July 23rd at Safeco Field, the next night A-Rod hit by a pitch. He faced Steve Delabar at Safeco and hit one 440 feet. That was the last home run A-Rod hit before being hit and going on the disabled list. That ball was officially smoked. It was a low heater.
Swing and a miss. A-Rod's wrapped into a double play and struck out twice. 0-2.
Good old country hardball right there. Here it is, hit it.
I think Delabar remembers that home run too.
What do you do here, Al? You get brave and try to blow a fastball by him or bounce something?
I mean, the first thing that says, okay, your out pitch is the split finger that he's got Cano and Swisher out, but as late as Alex was, maybe a fastball off the plate. Nope, went with the split. I mean, sometimes you do a favor, and a guy, if he's just showing he's so tardy as Alex was there, you end up hanging a pitch of 88 miles an hour instead of 96. That pitch was just a show pitch. I think this could be a fastball up somewhere out of its zone.
The 1-2. One outside, and the count 2-2. Breaking ball throws A-Rod, and he goes down on strikes. Now, boy, A-Rod is hearing it from the crowd as the Yankees go down in order, and we go to the 8th. 1-1 on the scoreboard, brought to you by Chevrolet and their award-winning cars, trucks, and crossovers. Well, just a couple of kernels left. It's been a long day. But we still got more baseball, as Rajai Davis will lead off against Boone Logan to start the 8th. Top of the order for the Blue Jays. Juan.
What a job by David Phelps. Three hits. 6 2/3, 5 strikeouts.
The only run that scored was a 1-out walk. Eventually came around in the 2nd inning. It was kind of the only inning where he seemed to struggle a little bit.
Cody Epley up in the bullpen.
30 pitches that inning, 2nd inning.
That's a weak hack there by Davis. He's down on strikes.
That's a good slider, back foot. Tough to lay off. The effectiveness of a good slider that looks like a fastball. Can't see the dot when thrown properly. The ball just keeps boring in inside. Davis was just hoping just to foul it off.
Foul back.
Kobe Lewis just totally square, 2 eyeballs looking at the pitcher. That's who he used to do. 2.0, both eyeballs. Watch his head. He turns it to the right, make sure he's looking straight on, as opposed to peeking.
Outside 1-2. Detroit 5-0 over the A's in the bottom of the 7th inning. Cabrera just hit his 41st home run for the Tigers.
Yeah. He's already leading in batting average and runs batted in. He's 1 behind Josh Hamilton now in homers. The last Triple Crown winner was Carl Yastrzemski, 1967. That is putting together a heck of a season. And the thing about it, he has led the league in each one of those categories, but not all in the same year. So the capability is there to do it.
Tampa Bay 10, Red Sox 3 as Erasmus swings and misses.
Erasmus saw all of the pitches from Boone Logan. The last pitch, fastball in at 94. Erasmus square looking, ball out of the zone.
Well, great job by Boone Logan. They got the final out of the 7th. Struck out the first 2 batters of the 8th. With Laurie coming up, they will bring in Cody Epley as Logan departs.
World Series title. But tonight, after the game, he reveals the award he's the most proud of. That's on the Verizon Fios game wrap-up tonight on the 10 o'clock news on My 9.
Cody Epley, his 53rd game.
Put a ball in play, 28 strikeouts, 42 innings. Didn't strike out a whole lot. Low three-quarter delivery, tough on right-handers. Another one of the Yankee relievers done a nice job.
There's a strike to Laurie. Big cut by Laurie.
Combination of deception and movement. The way he actually releases the ball and the movement of his fastball down and in for the right-handed hitters makes it difficult for the right-handed hitters in particular to square him up.
And the 1-2 way outside. Epley did not pitch in the first game. As we mentioned, the Yankees used 6 relievers. He was not one of them. The 2-2. Swing and a miss. And Logan strikes out 2. Epley strikes out 1. The Blue Jays go down in order with 3 strikeouts. If we go to the bottom of the 8th inning, it's a 1-1 game and Granderson leads off. Ball tours in New Jersey tonight. Which Bruce song do you think sums up the Yankees 2012 season? Is it Born to Run, Glory Days, The Rising, Thunder Road, Wrecking Ball? And the pitch to Granderson is low. Text A, B, C, or D, or E to 70377 or go to my9tv.com. Find out the results right after the game. It's Take on Russ, brought to you by Toyota. Delabar in a second inning of work. And Granderson swings and misses. Granderson 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. The Chevy scoreboard shows it's 1-1. Blue Jays out hit the Yankees in the first game, but lost. The Yankees are out hitting the Blue Jays here in the second game, and it's tied. 2-1. Strike.
Tough to pull the trigger. Couple off-speed pitches. Got Granderson thinking split through 3 in a row. Steve Delabar, good arm, good stuff.
2-2. Missed inside, and the count is full of 3-2 to Granderson. Soriano getting loose in case the Yankees score here in the bottom of the 8th. And Granderson works a walk.
Yeah, he went to a 3-2 changeup. Yeah, we talked about in the first game, Michael, the lack of the stigma to the strikeout. This season, both teams in Major League games this year average 15 strikeouts. That's the highest in history, which would break the record which was set last year. It was 14.2 strikeouts per game by both teams, which was the highest in history. So this year it looks like strikeout rate's going up again.
Here's Nix. Let's see if the Yankees bunt. Nix is one of their better sacrifice bunters. Blue Jays are expecting it, and he did run the hands up as the throw was made to first.
It's a lot of punching out. Nix has been probably the best bunter on the Yankees statistically. He's had the most sacrifice hits.
Squares, and it's bunted back to Delabar. He'll take the out at first, and Granderson moves to second. So the sacrifice successful, 1-3.
Hugged the ground. It's slow enough where Delabar, if that ball was hit a little harder, it was right back to the pitcher. With Lowry coming down hard, you want to bunt it to the first baseman. The smart play and only play. Steve Delabar going to first. Watch Lowry coming in hard. As a bunter, you want to go up the first base line. Hug the grass, slow down.
That's the 8th successful sacrifice for Nix. More than twice as many as anybody else on the team.
Well, the Yankees will go to their bench, and they'll send up Raul Ibanez to pinch hit against Delabar. So McGee will sit down. McGee 0 for 2 with a walk. And after Ibanez is announced, John Farrell will take the walk out to the mound. And he's going to signal to the bullpen to bring on a left-hander. Now will Joe Girardi counter? Will he send up a right-handed batter? Stick around and find out. Announced Ibanez, and because they announced Ibanez, then Farrell went to the bullpen to bring on a left-hander, and because the left-hander came on, then Joe Girardi sends up this guy, Steve Pearce, to pinch hit for Ibanez. So that move burns Ibanez, but he gets a matchup of Aaron Loop against the righty Steve Pearce.
Well, Aaron Loop, a typical left-handed reliever, kind of sidearm slinger, tough on lefties. 163 batting average against on lefties, 295 right-handers have hit. Not overpowering. Good assortment of off-speed pitches. Slider was his out pitch.
So that's the go-ahead run at second base with one out in the bottom of the 8th inning. Backdoor breaking ball misses, 1-0.
Good count right here for Steve Pearce. Center cut, fastball, something up.
He's starting with 2 breaking pitches.
The runner goes at third. The throw to third. Stolen base for Granderson. And the pitch was a strike.
You could see Granderson kind of measuring Loop on the first 2 deliveries. You see the high leg kick. He gets the good jump. Throw is on the money, but not in time. His 9th stolen base of the year, picking up a valuable 90 feet. He's going to force the Blue Jays to bring the infield in, and a decent fly ball would put the Yankees in the lead.
Infield is in. Popped up, first base side, and out of play. Two balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. We're in the bottom of the 8th inning, a 1-1 game. Granderson is at third. The go-ahead run. Infield is in. Luke deals. Swung on a miss, he struck him out. A big strikeout of Steve Pearce, but it doesn't get much easier as Luke now has to face the red-hot Ichiro Suzuki.
Ichiro today, this is game 1. 3 hits in the first game. Game 2. 3 for 3 with a couple of stolen bases. Scored 2 runs in the opening game. And the Yankees 42 win.
Crowd chanting Ichiro. Fouls that one away. Chance for Ichiro to be a hero in this game. .90 feet away, Curtis Granderson. Nice save there by Mathis.
Mathis here, a slider that was way in the right-handed batter's box.
Yankees 2 for 12 tonight with runners in scoring position. Looped into left field. It is a base hit for Ichiro. Granderson scores, and Suzuki is 4 for 4, and the Yankees lead 2-1.
Well, when Ichiro Suzuki is locked in like he is today, both of these ball games, it looks like doesn't matter where the pitcher throws it, you just throw it out there. Drive a ball to right field as he did early in the game. This is a fastball inside, peels off of it. Just unbelievable bat control from Ichiro Suzuki. Big hit.
Well, that'll knock Loop out of the game. Farrell goes to the bullpen, and Ichiro making a statement in this second game. 4 hits against 4 left-handed pitchers. And what a day he's had. 7 for 8 in 2 games, and the night's not over, but the Yankees lead 2-1. Donuts. America runs on Dunkin'. Infinity, luxury cars that deliver inspired performance. And by Chase, take a step forward with Chase Quick Pay by sending money as easily as sending an email. Oh, what a night for Ichiro Suzuki. Late September in 2012. 3 hits in the first game, 4 hits in the second game, and the 4th hit could be the game winner if the Yankee bullpen holds on. Brandon Lyon comes on for the Blue Jays. And he will face Chris Stewart. Pitch outside.
Well, out last time this situation arose, Ichiro stole second base. And this time he's got a right-hander on the mound, could get a better jump.
Now the decision that Joe Girardi had to make today was play Ichiro instead of Andrew Jones. And not to pile on Andrew Jones, who has certainly struggled in the second half of the season. Ichiro has 7 hits today. 7. Andrew Jones has 9 hits in the last 2 months. And Andrew has been struggling, and Joe has kept running him out there, but today decided to go with Ichiro against the left-hander, and it's paid off. And Ichiro, as Kenny has mentioned, also had good numbers against Romero, so that played in the decision. And he kept him in there against Loop, and he gets the big base hit.
Well, remember, it wasn't too long ago. Ichiro Suzuki was not a platoon guy, lefty-righty, didn't matter. And watching him today,
he's the all-time leader in hits in one season with 262 hits.
There he goes. Throw to second. The night just keeps getting better. A stolen base for Ichiro. His 3rd stolen base of the night.
Well, we talked about Ichiro coming to a contending ball club and being energized after playing in Seattle. The Mariners are struggling. A lot of his teammates were very young, and it seems like he has been energized since coming to the Yankees, up well over 300 now. We're seeing the Ichiro of old. Guy who was a batting contender every single year, 200 hits, stellar defense in the outfield, ability to steal bases. And as Michael pointed out, he hit all types of pitching. Now he's in scoring position at second base.
third. Pitches outside. Throw to third. Not in time. The fourth stolen base for Ichiro. And Stewart walks.
Wow.
I think he's feeling frisky.
He's energized tonight for sure.
Well, we saw what happened with Granderson. The Blue Jay pitchers have to have a couple looks, and I know you can't constantly jockey with 2 outs. There's a kind of a feeling that his foot didn't get in. Good call by Toby Bassner.
This is really close. Oh, wow. Man.
Well, I'd say he was safe because where he tagged him.
Up on the leg?
Yep.
There he looks like he's out.
Wow.
Boy, it's close. His spike could have been on the bag. Well, Toby Bassner made the call. And here's Derek Jeter. He can give Soriano a little more breathing room. After a 4-out save in the first game, Soriano will try to nail the second game down. This is the third 4 stolen base game of his career. The last one came in August of 2010. About of 39,997 for the second game of this day-night doubleheader. The 2-0. There's a strike. Clip the outside corner. 2-1. Jeter did not like that call. Lyon sets. The pitch. Off speed, 2-2.
Well, we've seen all night long the ability to throw an off-speed pitch in a hitter's count. And what we mean by a hitter's count, a hitter's ahead on the count 2-1, where you can sit back and wait for a fastball. That's the thing that divides major league pitchers from pitchers in the minor leagues. They can't get those pitches over consistently. They fall further behind.
First and third, 2 outs. 2-2 count. Yankees lead 2-1. Bottom of the 8th. Runner goes. Pitch is outside and a stolen base for Stewart.
This is his second steal of the season.
Team was headed to the third base dugout. Whoa. Brandon Lyons almost walking to the foul line. And John Farrell didn't like that, so a walk to Jeter.
Well, it's Mathis is the one. Watch him.
You want consistency, and the pitch that Derek didn't like that was called a strike, now it's called a ball. Very similar. Little cutter, off the plate, good call, missed by about an inch. I think what the Blue Jays are upset with was the pitch that was earlier called a strike.
A lot of listing to the right. Now, he's not singing love sonnets toward Adrian Johnson. So Bruce Walton out on the mound, and Johnson will go out and break it up.
Every umpire has his boiling point, though. Some are takes a little bit longer for them to simmer, but once you reach it, especially on balls and strikes, because you're not supposed to be arguing balls and strikes.
Bases are loaded with the Yankees. 3 walks in this inning and the big hit by Ichiro. And the Yankees could really give the bullpen insurance here with Nick Swisher up.
It was Nick who was selling insurance in the first game. He drove in the 4th run. It gave Soriano a little more breathing room. That was in the 8th inning in the first game.
Count 1-1. The pitch. 1-2.
Big pitch, that 1-1 pitch. Take you to 2-1 or 1-2. Completely different approach now for Lyons and also Swisher. Out in front, big curveball.
You look ahead to the 9th inning for the Jays. It's Lind, Mathis, and Johnson. And they'll probably face Soriano unless the Yankees blow this open right here. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. Swisher strikes out and the Yankees lead the bases loaded. But Ichiro's 4th hit of the night. A single to left field drives in the go-ahead run. Can the Yankees hold on for the win? It's up to him. Look at the out-of-town scoreboard brought to you by Hyundai. Hurry into your local Hyundai dealer now. The savings at every turn sales event and great prices end October 1st. Some changes for the Yankees. Chris Dickerson takes over in left field. The left fielder, Ichiro, moves over to right. The right fielder, Swisher, moves to first. And the new pitcher is Rafael Soriano, who got a 4-out save in the first game. His 41st save of the year. It's Adam Lind to lead off against Soriano. So the Yankee offense again stalled for the most part tonight, but their pitching has been so good. They can get a win out of this. Soriano deals. Outside, 1-0. Laced down the left field line, but slices foul.
Might have broken his bat on that pitch. It's interesting to note in this game, it's a 2-1 game. It's about as tight as you can get. But all three of the runs that have scored, the runners have put on base via the base on balls. It hasn't been as if they hit their way on.
High drive, right field. Ichiro is there. 1 out. Now we see the Yankees with a 2-1 lead. Kind of an amazing stat here. Yankees had 16 base runners tonight in 8 innings. They had 9 stolen bases. And they scored 2 runs. That's not easy. To have that many base runners, that many stolen bases, and just 2 runs. But again, it could hold up. Here's Jeff Mathis. Mathis with a pop-up. Two outs.
Soriano making it look easy. But right after these Blue Jay hitters.
And here's Kelly Johnson. Soriano deals. Swing and a miss.
Good slider.
And he said it, good sliders, throw that fastball in the low 90 range, and then the slider just, it's got such short break to it and straight down. Curveball effect, but slider speed.
Foul tip.
Foul tip.
Yeah.
0-2. Kelly Johnson, I didn't tip that.
We're going to hear some more from the Blue Jays dugout.
Did he tip it? Didn't look like he did. Most in the crowd standing. And the 0-2. Shattered bat, almost hit Soriano. A long run for A-Rod, he can't get there.
Wow, that bat
Really
right back
close.
at Soriano.
Take a look how close this is.
He didn't even notice it right away.
He's watching the flight of the ball.
So he takes a step back just to collect himself. Johnson gets a new piece of lumber. He's down on the count 0-2. And the pitch. 1-2. There's the star of this day. 4 stolen bases, 4 hits.
He's stretching like there's going to be a third game.
And the pitch. Swing and a miss. He got it. A long day for the Yankees, but a worthwhile day as they get 2 wins against the Blue Jays. They win the first game 4-2. They win this game 2-1. And the celebration revolves around Ichiro Suzuki. 7 hits and 8 at-bats, and he is all smiles after the second game of this doubleheader. He's been waiting for his signature moment as a Yankee. This could have been it. Kelly Johnson swings at the ball in the dirt. Soriano with his second save of the day. And the Yankees win this one 2-1.
Well, slider, the go-to pitch for Soriano, but really the story is Ichiro Suzuki. 7 for 8 on the day. What an incredible day for Ichiro.
Absolutely his signature day as a Yankee. 3 hits in the first game, 4 hits in the second. The Yankees sweep a doubleheader. They move a full game ahead of the Baltimore Orioles, who are playing the Mariners right now. We'll come back, we'll give out awards, and then throw it to Russ. Stay right where you are.